Hey folks, it's Owen here again with another battle report. This is a game that I played about 3 or 4 weeks ago against Derek Mitchell from the TLC. Big Ogre player, so I was looking forward to playing Ogres. I hadn't played them in quite some time, a long time I'd played Ogres. Actually, it's not one of the usual armies you see around the club, so I was looking forward to getting this game in, and we actually helped out with a couple of tables for NWG as well, which was on the next day. So that was pretty good. So we had a good fun that night, and let's go on through the battle. So we didn't really bother rolling up any sort of scenario. So we just said, listen, battle line, 2,000 points, nice and quick, off we go. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So starting with the high elves on the left hand side, we have 5 reavers, bows and spears, both thrower there in the centre, Aurelian reavers then bows and spears again, and another bolt thrower. Actually, this is pretty much the same army you've seen before because I really like using it and it's a lot of fun. So on to the next side. And then on the other side is the general, who is on his Flamespire Phoenix. He's got his Ogre Blade, Enchanted Shield, etc. etc. Mage level 2 in the small Phoenix Guard unit. He has a Banner of the World Dragon, Noble in there as well, who I'm actually thinking about moving out over to the Archers just to have him in a different unit. I wonder if that would be a good idea. I might try that in another game I might have during the week just to see. But anyway, I'll move on. We have 5 more Reavers there on their right. Frost Phoenix is in between them and 18 Archers who are on the very far hand side. And so moving over to the Ogres, and this is a pretty heavy actual army he has here, to be honest. I didn't like it when I put it down. There's only 2 things that I'm not too worried about, and they're on the next slide. But we'll start off with the 2 things I am pretty worried about, and that's the 2 Morphine Cavalry units. 1, 2 right in front there. Not just that, there's also a big unit of Iron Guts, which are pretty tough owl yokes as well. I suppose the Iron Guts don't really matter to me too much. I mean, I'm not going to have a save against most Ogre stuff anyway. We're just banking on our ward save, but they just sound horrible. So yeah, we don't fancy that. And in there, as far as I remember, he has Slaughtermaster, Bruiser, and he has a BSB in there as well. I don't have anything down for that, but I'm pretty sure he's in that unit too. Then there's a Saber-Tusk there hiding behind that little bit of scenery there. So on the other hand side, on the right hand side, we have 10 ogres. Well, it says 10 there. I only see 9. In the army list, he said 10. I'm not fucking sure, to be honest with you. I haven't a clue. So we'll just let it go because it's only a friendly game. There's 2 Nobbler scrap launchers. Now, he was telling me these things are underrated because they're cheap, they charge, they've impact hits. All I was kind of thinking is they're not fucking those mad cannons. That's great. So you can bring fucking 20, you can help our scrap. Well, obviously not 20, but you know what I mean. They're a lot less worrisome than the Iron Blasters. So I'm kind of happy to see those yokes there. Although on the right hand side we have more Mornfang Cavalry. So there's 3 units of 2, which doesn't sound like a lot, except it really is, because they're pretty tough. And hiding behind that little tree there is a Saber-Tusk again. Those things, I didn't realise how annoying they are, and the reason he hid them is because if I shot them I start panicking his units, and I didn't realise that either, and I couldn't see them, so it didn't really matter. So we win the first turn, so off we go. I was pretty concerned about not concerned, I was very aware of the speed of this army. It looks big, it looks clumsy. It's fucking not, because it's really fast and it hits you hard. So the Mornfang and the Ogres run very fast. I decided to hold my guys back and see what I could do with them. Whether it was a good idea or not, I don't know. I moved my Phoenix Lord up there pretty quick and moved him up a fair bit, so if he does move up aggressively, I'll be able to fly behind him and maybe threaten him in that way, which I think would be a good idea. Actually, I think it was Joshua James in the previous battle report said I should have flown my Phoenix over the unit and took him out from behind just to see what I could maybe get him to worry about him as well. So I think that's probably a good plan and something I was trying to do. Then on the right hand side, Phoenix Guard move up a small bit. Other Reavers move up a little bit as well. Not too far as to worry about a charge from either the scrap launchers or the other Iron Fists? No. Mornfang, that's it, Mornfang. But I did want to get the Frost Phoenix over there, and hopefully he was going to cause a bit of trouble too for these Mornfang. And I didn't want them coming down too quick, but also I didn't really want to commit to just keeping 2 guys over there with a Frost Phoenix. He's far too valuable. So I've half an eye moving him away later on. Onto a bit of shooting because magic was 0, and the archers take a wound off this guy, so that's great. And that was it. I did fucking nothing else my first turn. So Ogre turn 1, and for some reason he doesn't move one of his units up. I'm not sure why, but Sabertooth moves up, and so does that unit of Mornfang on the left hand side. Then the two main units, two big blocks, move up, and scrap launchers also move up as well. And then more movement over here. I believe he did not want to move his Mornfang over there because of the Frost Phoenix. So I'm thinking to myself, should I charge that little critter down there and get rid of him? Or should I fly away, or should I stay there? It's a lot of choices, and hopefully I made the right one. A scrap launcher actually it hit and it moved off, I think, and it hit a couple of guys and killed them. Nothing much, but I suppose it's an interesting weapon. And then it's HiFiHut turn 2. So this is where I believe I made an error. I probably should have charged that little cat thing with the unit who was moved behind him. I probably should have just charged through the trees, and if he fled, fair enough. I could also charge him with the other unit of cavalry and send them through his ogre units. But that's obviously very easy to say when you're looking back in a report. So I didn't. What I did was I got the Reavers on the left hand side out of the charge arc of the very far left hand Mornfang, and give the ones up there something to charge, because I want to keep them where they are, and I leave the other ones at the side and keep shooting them with a bolt thrower. In the meantime, my general has flown over and done a couple of hits on those guys. I think he got a wound on one, a couple of wounds, maybe something like that, but I didn't kill anybody. They are toughness 4, so it is a lot harder to kill. But yeah, it was a nice idea, and I just about managed to fit in there as well. More movement then. Yeah, I did think it was a bit of a waste having a Frost Phoenix, so I moved them straight across over here, and what I thought I was able to do was shoot this little cat thing with my Reavers. If he did try to charge me, I'd just feign flight and fly off, and he wouldn't be able to catch me. So that was a good plan in theory. Unfortunately, in practice, it does not work out so well. Because in over turn 2, he charges me. Actually, something that funnily enough, I thought he made a mistake here. He charges me with the Mornfang, fine, I flee. And then I realised, oh, that fucking cat is there. If he charges me with that cat, I'm gone. I'm gone off the board, good luck. But he didn't charge me. So I was incredibly lucky that these guys actually stayed in the board, because if he had charged me with that thing, I was gone. Good luck, not a chance. So that thing moves across behind my lines, and I think I was more worried about it than I should have been, because it didn't do fucking much to me. But, you know, having those things roaming around is not good anyway. So moving on to the other part, there's a fair few charges here. Let me see. We've got the one up the top where I fled, which was kind of the plan, so that worked out quite well. My guys didn't panic, that was even better. I was just about in BSB range, actually. I was very lucky. I had just measured it, and I think I was actually kind of guessing rather than measuring. But anyway, his two main units then move up again, obviously, because they want to get to my guys and beat the shit out of them. Scrap launcher moves. The other scrap launcher, I think, moved a little bit, but not enough for me to bother putting an arrow on it. As for the charges down there, we were just finished the moving phase, going on to magic. I think he'd actually rolled for magic, and he said, oh, you know what, I forgot to move that cat. What's the chances you let me do a charge? So I measured it, and I think it was a 10 or something, and I went, oh, fucking, you know what, it's a friendly game, why not? If you get it, fair enough. Of course he got it, so it's into my bolt thrower. So my plan of destroying those Mornfang, who are down to one wound left on one of them as well, because the bolt thrower did quite well. So that's not great, but never mind. Friendliness is probably the best pace, you know, so that's alright. And another slide here, I think it's just a nice picture, really, just to emphasise that stinking flea bag has gone into my fucking bolt thrower. Great news. So onto the shooting, and he fires a scrap launcher over at my guys. Fires this fucking scrap launcher, which manages to hit and does a wound, so that's not great news. And then the scrap launcher fires over here and does 2 more wounds, so this thing isn't as shitty as he was saying, but anyway, never mind. The scrap launcher hits me again. Combat then, and the Sabertusk destroys my bolt thrower, who don't even hit him, which is fucking no use to me whatsoever, so that wasn't great. and then it's on to High Elves turn 3. So this has been a bit of a non-event so far. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to have to do something pretty quick, or I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units breathing down my neck, and they're going to fucking kill me. So what I decided to do was to hold up one unit, turn around my Phoenix to face the rear of his other units. I'm hoping that I can get that Iron Gut Star to piss off and leave the Ogres, so we can go into the Ogres, chop them up, run them down. Phoenix Guard might have a chance of going into the Scrap Launcher, and then we can get rid of that as well, and then maybe turn around then and take on the Gut Star after taking a few more shots at them, because I don't really want to have 2 units of Ogres to deal with, because that's pretty tough. So that's my plan anyway, and hopefully it's going to work out. Movement then, so Frost Sphinx pops over here, getting ready to do a little charge on one of these guys if they do decide to charge me. Archers move up onto the hill just to get a couple of shots off and to make sure that these guys aren't charging down a hill at me if they do try to get me. Then the right hand side there, the Reavers they rally, obviously, come back over and get ready to take some shots at that little cat over there. Archers do another good job and get rid of one of the Mornfang. So that's good stuff out of them. And now it's Ogre's turn 3. As you can see, Magic was pretty much a non-event for both of us because we were doing some pretty good spelling and some pretty shitty casting as well. And I'm pretty sure our our spell scrolls are both gone. So that's it anyway. So what I didn't take on here is that the Mornfang were going to go into the side, because I didn't think they'd fucking make it, to be honest. And I had measured it and I thought it was out. He measured it again, and whatever I did, I must have repositioned them and then not measured, which is very sloppy, but they were able to go over, and I think it was on an 11, and he said, look, declare a charge, why not? I said, well, okay, I'm going to hold because it's an 11. I probably should have fled, but I reckon I'm better off them there holding up his Gut Star rather than me fleeing off, him recharging me and sending my guys fucking God knows where. So I left them, and just unfortunately they got hit, so they're probably going to be toast. Down the bottom then, the other guys have made it in over here as well, and I think that was an 11 as well, and he got that too, so fucking his dice are flying, which is not so good. Then on the side over here, Mornfang decides to declare a charge. I say stand and shoot, and we hit nothing. We wound nothing. Brutal. But he doesn't make the charge, so it's grand. Meanwhile over here, this cat decides to run over here. I don't know why. It's doing nothing, but it's taking up my Reavers who don't have anything fucking else to do. Which is a waste of Reavers, because they should be flighting all over the place. Then a double 6 happens, and I have absolutely no idea what it was for or what happened. But it looks like nothing happened here at all. I'm not sure what it was. He had a couple of good spells. He had Troll Guts for regen. He had the +1 strength. He had the one where you have to take a morale check and something else. I'm not too sure. But I don't know which one it was, so who cares? It's Ogre magic. Fuck it. Scrap Launcher then fires over here. It deviates, ends up killing one of my guys and taking a wound off his own guy. So that's not too bad. It's good news. I think the other Scrap Launcher actually misfired and exploded as well, so that was even better. Over here, the obvious death of my bow thrower is happening right now. So yeah, good stuff out of the Mornfang. We actually get... Oh no, we didn't get a wound through. We already had that. There's me hoping for something, huh? But the overrun takes them into the side of the Phoenix Guard, which is not great. It's not bad, because it's only 2 of them and there's nothing else there, but it does hold me in place. There are impact hits which will probably kill a couple of guys, depending on it. Let's say he gets 3 impact hits, I fail 1 save, maybe 2, so yeah, probably do 2 guys, but I think we'll be able to hold them until Frost Phoenix comes in, and then we should be able to kill him. More combat over here, and these bastards destroy my Reavers, which is obviously going to happen anyway. I think the impact hits alone killed them, so at least they were held up the Gut Star, so it's not too bad. And they overrun, but they don't make it into anything, so that's pretty good. And it also gets the Gut Star stuck because they can't go anywhere, so that's actually quite good. So High Elf turn 4, and what I do, and what I think I did probably wrong, it was a little bit hasty, and it was getting kind of late, and I said, you know what, let's get some action going because I'm really getting bored. So what I did was Phoenixes are flying all over the place. First of all, Frosty down the bottom. He managed to get in the corner of those guys over there, which is cool. Which is really cool. It means that when someone goes into him, they have to attack the Frost Phoenix, who's pretty tough, and the Phoenix Guard will stay alive. Plus, it means that these guys have -1 on their strength, so they shouldn't be able to hit or kill as many Phoenix Guard. Then part 2 over there is what we have is the General going in on those guys. Now, I think that was a wrong idea. What I probably should have done was either go into the back of the Ogres. No, probably not the back of the Ogres. Maybe that would be a mistake. Let me see, we had ranks and a guy, so it would have been 3. You know what, the back of the Ogres might have been a fucking good idea. Thinking to myself, sorry, this isn't great for a battle report. So what actually happened was, I went into the side of the Mournfang. My plan was to kill them, overrun quite a lot, and I'd get out of the way. Or at least I would drag the Gutstar over towards me, and hopefully they would fail. Now, I think it wasn't a bad idea, but hindsight again would say to me, charge the back of the Ogres. You've got +3, which counteracts his -3 for his 2 ranks and his whatever Bellower guy. His standard. He only has then the Musician, so I have to kill an Ogre, and then maybe he gets a wound or 2 back. I'd still win. I think it would have been a nice idea. It would have held him there for a while too. But anyway, never mind. I think that maybe it was a good idea. But still, this is a lot of fun. So we'll see what happens. Then over here, I moved the Reavers over there just to take a shot at the cat, to get out of the way of the probably charging scrap launcher, and I just in case the Mournfang on the right hand side makes it in over there, I'd like to be able to have some Reavers just to go into the flank or rear or something, just to keep an eye on everything there. And that's my magic phase, and I cast a spell. And I remember what this is. I just remember what this is. I had 2 spells. I decided to keep Soul Quench, and I also decided to switch to Drain Magic, because I realized that he had a lot of augments for his guys. So I kept Drain Magic. He had Troll Guts going on everything. I think it is 12 inches or something like that. So all my dice, just Drain Magic in the radius of whatever, and I got a double 6. So what? Who cares? I'm banning the World Dragon. Who cares? No problem. Big problem because my mage lost the wound because he's useless. Banning the World Dragon. There's your 1. Everybody else, I think I rolled an 8. So every magic user was only me. Of course, I rolled a 1. But you know what? That's just karma. That's what you get for a Banner of the World fucking Dragon, because you're dirty if you do. But so what? Don't care. So the Reavers finally killed this flea bag over here. So another cat gone. I think they're worth 2 points. So let's not jump for joy, but at least something's going right. Something else going right is these archers, and they're really having a good time over here. So another wound gone off this guy, and I'm quite hopeful we will be able to kill him sometime in turn 8, but we'll see how it goes. So on to turn 4 combat, and this went very well for me. Got rid of one of the Mournfang. Poor old Derek rolled, I think he rolled kind of badly, not so hot, and he also failed his leadership, which is on his general as well, and he had a BSB over there, so pretty shitty roll and unfortunate, but never mind. So we say, yeah, we're going to give chase, and we catch him and kill him, but unfortunately we don't go very far. I think he rolls a fucking 4 and I roll a 6, so not exactly flying around the place in speed. But anyway, I caught him, killed him, so that's a few points. Now, am I far enough away to get rid of this guy? To get rid of these guys charging me? I don't know. But it was good, and it seems to be working out alright. Combat over here, and it's not actually too bad. We only lose 4 guys. Unfortunately, we did no wounds to him. We held, obviously, because combat and that sort of stuff. And the Phoenix, I think he was on a pretty low roll of a 5. I'm trying to think. Was it a 5? 4 wounds. Rank, banner. He was on an 8. 8 rerollable, so it wasn't too bad. It wasn't exactly fucking guaranteed, but it wasn't too bad. So everybody held, and we did a swift reform as well, which you don't see until the next couple of slides. So Ogre turn 4, and all the charges go into all the guys. Yeah, 2 units straight into mine. The Ogres into the side of the Frost Phoenix, and the Iron Guts are going into my General, which is not so good. But you know what? What are you going to do? It's time for a battle, and we might as well do it the right way. I had considered fleeing with my General, but I found out today that I had forgotten completely one of the rules of the United, and that is that he is immune to panic, or immune to psychology, should I say. So thank you, Dylan Smith from Bray, for heads up on that. I completely forgot. I didn't actually flee with this guy anyway. I'm not sure why. If I had a chance, I probably would have. But he had, let me see, he had 6 plus 2d6, I had 3d6. I probably would have gotten caught. I might have gotten caught. So I just held, so there you go. Meanwhile, over here, Scrap Launcher and the final Mornfang fly in as well. We took a wound off him when he was coming in, so he's only got 1 wound left. Oh yeah, we're coming to get you, Fang. This didn't go so well. Well, let's not say that. Mornfang was killed. Yes, go on to High Elves. We lost loads of guys through, I don't know how, we just got fucking milled out of it. Impact hits, I think between him and him killed most of those guys there. Now he finally missed out on getting rid of my rank, so I'm steadfast. Very lucky. Only for that we'd be in trouble, but now we get to reform and get to put a few more guys onto this Scrap Launcher. So, and then we take away this flank as well, which is quite important. And there we go. Very nice. A very good High Elves. More onto the combat over here. So I declare a challenge. He says, no thanks, you're okay. And he says, who do you want to send to the back? So we send back your BSB. Just so you don't get a reroll. Now, as far as I know, it's this unit that doesn't get a reroll, but every other unit does. So it's kind of a waste. But it's nice to get rid of it anyway. So we managed to kill one of his Iron Guts. Maybe get a wound off another one. He does 2 wounds then to my Phoenix because he wants to kill the Phoenix, get rid of my General. Now, to be honest, I think you're probably better off just going for the General. I know he's got a 4 ward and a bit of armor, but I mean, if you kill the General, he's gone forever. If you kill the Phoenix, the General goes, but he can maybe come back to life. So I think you're better off killing the General. But anyway, that's just me. So we move on over here, and it's High Elves turn 5. Sorry about that. So I get the Reavers and charge them into the back of this guy. I mean, I got res of plus 2 for the rear charge, plus 1 for the charge, so 3. So I got a good chance here, maybe breaking this guy down, hopefully. And you know, ASF, might kill a couple, might get a couple of wounds through. You never know. If we can kill a Mornfang, we can kill a fucking Scrap Launcher. And we. Did we get any wounds through? We did not get any wounds through. We lost 3 guys, but importantly enough, we still have a musician. So we win the combat. -3, -3. Musician wins it for me. His BSB is miles away, so I think this guy's on a 6. And he flees, and the Reavers don't catch him. The archers catch him, which is just brilliant stuff. These archers have been men of the match. They've destroyed a Mornfang unit, they've destroyed a Scrap Launcher. Brilliant stuff. Back over to the fake battle. The real battle's over there with the archers. Phoenix is he's obviously fine. I mean, he's a couple of wounds I think have gone through at this stage. There's a couple of coins there underneath him. You can't really see him, but he kills a full ogre, so that's 3 wounds. The Phoenix Guard down the bottom, they get rid of the Mornfang. Now, as Matt was saying, I would have been better off if I hadn't have killed that guy, because if I can manage to break these units, I could elect to follow the Mornfang instead, which means that my Frost Phoenix would have a chance of going into the other combat. But I'm not too sure about that. What I thought was that if they did flee, I might be able to get into the side of the other combat over here too. Sorry, if the Ogres fled. But anyway, so we kill the Mornfang, and Ogre's dead, and it's looking pretty good. And the Ogres do indeed flee. They roll very, very poorly. I think there's a 6 there and there's another 6 somewhere else. So we fire over there, catch the Ogres and kill them. I had to follow those ogres, because if they came back, they would be a nightmare. It's a big thing for me to do there, kill those guys. So even though I've gone too far and I've kind of taken him out of the game now, I think it was worth it for the points. Meanwhile, my general gets killed. Well, my general gets killed because his fucking mount is dead, which is the Frost Phoenix's, the Flame Phoenix's problem. First time he's been killed, so first time I put a little token down, which was quite fun, even though he's dead. He did kill an Iron Gut in return, but that's not exactly going to be great. And it's Ogre turn 5. Now, what I don't seem to have recorded here is that these guys have charged in. Actually, we missed a couple of photographs. I think there was something wrong with my camera at the time, and I took a couple of pictures and they were fucked up. So what happened at the end of High Elf turn was we rolled for my Phoenix Lord, and he rolled a 6. He came back to life. I made a massive mistake because I didn't think about it. I put him on the rear of the Ogre unit rather than the front. So now he had a chance to charge into my Phoenix Guard, and I still thought to myself, you know, if he makes it, fair enough. I've got a good chance of saving most of his stuff that goes through. I should be able to hold. I've got a BSB. Things are looking pretty good. And then at the next turn, I can charge my main man into the back. We should be able to break these guys and win this game completely. Destroy them. This is going to be great. What went down was completely not what I fucking thought was going to happen. He went in, rolled a double 6. So every Ogre gets strength bazillion. I don't know what the fuck it was. He also rolled a spell. He rolled up the +1 strength spell. So impact hits were like strength 6 or 7. So we got our armor save. We got no armor save, just a ward save. And he hit me with a truck. I lost probably 5 or 6 guys. Made no saves. He chopped up my BSB. He chopped up everything. The whole lot is gone, as you can see. Fucking gone. All there is one guy and a mage. So obviously they break, and that's the end of them. But they break and don't get caught. That's quite important. So the Iron Guts are right behind me. They run off, and it's not looking so good for us right now. High Elf turn 6, and these guys continue running because they're on a double 1. I'd be better off if that fucking champion was dead, because my guy would have rallied on a 9, and then maybe, well, actually, if he did that, he'd be dead. So they're probably better off running away. So Ogre turn 6, and Derry looks at me and says, "Nope, not moving anything. All I need is my magic. I've got 2 things I need to do." And I went, "Okay, that doesn't sound good for me, but go ahead." So he rolled the dice, gets himself a 10 or 11, lots of dice, and proceeds to grab 2 spells. The first spell was the one where you take a test, leadership test, or you flee. So I had not been paying attention to these guys since they killed the scrap launcher, or charged it down. So they were pretty close to table edge, closer than I realised, because I let this spell through. I rolled, failed, and then rolled a double 6. So they have effectively run off the table. So that's terrible news. But I still have plenty of dice to dispel the next spell, I said to myself. Until, of course, he sets it off with Irresistible Force. So it's whatever magic missile the Ogres have. 2d6, maybe 3d6, strength 2 or some shit like that. Whatever it is, he fires it at me, he kills me, we're dead. And I've now lost my cheapo mage and all the points for my Phoenix Guard unit. And that is where we end the game. And that's the end of the game. Boom, game over. It was unfortunate at the end there. I made some silly mistakes. I just wasn't paying attention, and I just kind of didn't give a shit at the end because we were just having a bit of a laugh, really. That shouldn't be an excuse, though. I should be still keeping my eye on the prize and my head in the game. But you know me, I just forget these fucking things. Good fun against Eric. Really enjoyed it. Good game against Ogres. 8-12, as far as I know. I mean, at the end there I lost a lot of points. Phoenix Guard, it wasn't as big a unit as usually is, so there was only a small mage in there, but it's still all points. Plus you got my BSB too, so that's an extra 100 points on top of a noble who is semi cheap. What did I get? Ogres, a unit of Ogres. that's about it really. Couple of, well, I suppose I got the Mornfang, but you know what? Who cares? It was a fun game. I get to play ogres. Don't get to play different armies a lot because, well, I guess most people just don't play different kind of armies. I suppose I usually get to play Bretonnian, Dark Elf. Haven't played Skaven in a while. I think I'm gonna have to start getting people to play different armies against me because I'm getting to the stage where it's the same kind of stuff. So there's only two ways to do it: get more people to play or go to a tournament. And if I have to go to a tournament, it means that I'm going to have to be a lot better than I fucking am right now because I'm just not good enough. But anyway, it's getting late, so I'm going to wrap it up, and I hope you enjoyed the battle. Thanks very much.